Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of Gaming After Dark. I am your host, Noof Nukem, and I'm pleased to be back with my incredible co-host and the lovely...
Primal Eve, and I'm fresh out of the shower, so still slightly moist and ready to
Ooh,
go.
he is moist on a whole new level. I can't wait. I'm so glad to have you back, Primal. We really
Glad to
missed you
be
last
here.
week. The community missed you. I think they share that sentiment. So glad to have you back. Hopefully, you've mustered at least a little bit of energy. Maybe your shower at least awoken your senses a little bit.
Yep, I took a shower just for you guys, just to wake up. It's been a really busy week with both work and dealing with my health stuff, but I am okay. It's nothing to be worried about. It's just some crap I have to deal with. So unfortunately, that was why I wasn't here last week, but I'm doing better today, and I'm really happy to be back.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we've got a birthday boy in the chat, Primal. It's our good friend and one of our best followers, and that is Spider-Man 356. A happy birthday on behalf of us
Very
all
happy
here,
birthday.
Spider-Man. Happy birthday, Spider-Man. We hope you don't live in a can. We hope for God's sake you got some birthday cake. Happy birthday, Spider-Man. There you go. It's my cheesy song for you, Spider-Man. I had to go out on a limb there. No, Primal wasn't here last week. Born Distracted. Something came up last minute, and it happens, man. Life happens. Podcasts, they are what they are. Let's give a big shout out to all of the people that are in this, joining us in the chat.
Yes.
And again, that's the birthday boy, Mr. Spider-Man. Happy birthday. Timothy Dixon is here as well. He strolled in bright and early. Philly Eagle, what's happening, brother? Appreciate the comments as well on the videos after we upload them and all that good stuff. Great Skull Zero. Cray Simmons stopped by at least to say hi. I don't think he's here anymore, but thanks for stopping in, Cray. Great Skull Zero. Who else we got here right now? Michael Monkey Punch Lugo. Ace Junkie is with us. Iceman. Yeah, man. Iceman able to catch us live. Nice stuff. Born
Yeah,
Distracted.
it's good. I'm sorry. I have to laugh because our Gears of War tournament just kind of fell apart. Nobody's really talked about it. It just kind of disappeared.
Oh, do
And
tell.
yeah, and Iceman and I were like pretty much the last ones standing, even though we never made it to the final.
Huh.
So it was a very interesting tournament.
Well, we're gonna have to do, I don't know about a tournament per se, but we should definitely hook up and do another private match here like
Yes.
soon. Yeah, basically I'm off next weekend from Saturday right till Tuesday. So if anybody's got spare time next week, and that would be fantastic. I would love to play some Gears. We got to get the hype train going. We're just a couple of weeks away from E3 promo. Can you believe that?
That is insane, and I feel like we just had E3 because I remember that that was when we were on the dosage and we had our whole thing there and talked about it. Now here we are again, and it's just time really flies by, and we still have massive backlogs just for them to start jamming more games down our throat. I do have some expectations from this E3, especially
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft. They kind of need to show a bit, but, yeah, it's just the time flies, and I'm very excited. I need to see I need to see
I know.
to see
We,
things.
I think I speak for us all when I say that the majority of us have more backlogs than an outhouse has brown logs, right?
Oh my gosh, just absolutely awesome. And it's crazy because I see you, like, a lot of you guys online and stuff, and everybody all has these new games, but you guys still are back playing the same games that you've been playing, like, 2 years ago. So, like,
Well, I
what's
find it's crazy because we're what 20 something days into this month. I've got a couple hundred gamer score, which is pretty good for me. And every time I get these achievements, like last night, I popped off a couple of achievements. One was like worth 80, one was like 30 something. I'm popping these, and I really don't give a shit. Don't worry, you know what I mean. It's not like it's a big deal for me, but it's
uh,
still. I'm like, I look up and then I see my rank, and I'm still like 70th, and I'm like, what? Like not 10th, not 20th, but 70th. I'm like, who is
like,
anybody fucking sleeping out there? Do you guys fucking take a shit, or do you just have a controller
exactly.
hooked up? Like, do you guys have controllers hooked in like fucking IVs? Like, do you work? Do you have a job? I still can't fathom. Maybe I'm just terrible at budgeting my time. But there are people in this community, Primal, that have kids. They have a family.
I
They have a
know.
job. they podcast, they make videos, and they still racking out like fucking thousands of score a month.
We are
I'm like,
talking about Salty here, right?
well, Salty's got to be one of them. I'm sure he's up in the top
It's
10, but
the
there's
Daz, UK Daz are
UK
actually
Daz. He works as a fucking, what is he? Does he work like a tow truck or some fucking thing? And he's
yeah.
gone with them, right?
Yeah, he does a lot of, like, the cleanup work for, like, accidents and stuff like that, so he
Yeah.
constantly has things to do, and he has his family, and he's drinking his beers and doing God knows
Yeah,
what.
I think a guy sleeps for like 30 minutes, wakes up to a beer and plays Mortal Kombat, and then starts the achievement roll. Like, seriously.
I know,
Shout
and
out
then
to UK Dazzy, man.
guys
Great guy. Hopefully he pops into chat one of these nights again. What's
absolutely
going on, Free Jack, my brother? How you doing, my Canadian friend? We gotta hang out soon, bro. It's been a long time. Yeah, me and Free Jack, man, we actually know each other personally. It's pretty cool stuff. And I met him
very
through the
nice.
podcast shit, which is even cooler when you actually meet someone who finds you in a podcast and you find that you guys are
Mhm.
basically next door neighbors. Well, not quite next door, but it takes them like 30 minutes or so to drive here.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
that's awesome. No, I've also had that experience as well. I've met a lot of people through, Gears 2. I actually lived with one of them for over 6 years, and that was horrible. Um, and then, yeah,
is that guy you were talking about a few weeks ago there?
not the one that cries or says thank
Oh,
you after anal.
oh.
This is a different
Well, thank you very much. That was
No,
fantastic.
but I absolutely love it, and when I had moved down to Virginia, I met, 3 other guys that I also played Gears with too, so it's really 4 other guys. I don't know, but
Probably doing
but
that math now.
I met some guys, but no, it's great to meet people part of, like, your community, your hobbies, something that you're passionate about would be fantastic, and I would love to have, like, a tour bus and have
Mm.
a Primal Leave tour and just go everywhere and meet everybody. That would be so
Hmm.
much fun. Not like a gangbang train
Right.
thing, just like a regular, like, tour bus thing.
The Primally pit stop tour, stop at every city and take a lucky number. They start giving out tickets. Who's next up here? And if you thank me for anal, I'm going to smack you.
Calling number 43.
Number 43, you were the lucky one into the tent. Can you imagine that was a few years back, that girl that set some kind of Guinness Book of Records for the most guys she
Oh my
screwed in a row?
gosh,
But wasn't it,
yes!
wasn't it like, was it a couple hundred or even approaching 1,000 or some shit?
Yeah, it was something absolutely insane. How do you even have a hole? That shit's a cavern. Like,
All
I
I
don't
know,
understand.
I
It's
don't know what's worse. Just being her or and being known for that record, or the last guy who had to
I was
go
just
in.
thinking the last guy, the guy who could probably fit his entire body inside her at that point.
Uh, that he was probably getting ready to go in. He probably went in with absolutely no effort whatsoever. It was just like,
He just did like a swan dive. I'm in.
oh, just like, yeah, right into the ocean. There
Oh,
you
man.
go. Oh man, must have been either good and wet or good and fucking sore. My God, her pussy must have
Oh
been burning
my
for
god.
days.
Dick burn for
Dick
days.
burn for days. Hope those guys
Yeah.
were shaved up real nice. Uh, oh man, we're off to a good start. See, there you go. We've missed Primal Leave. Here we go. We're 10 minutes into a show and we're already gone off the rails. That train is
Right.
fucking derailed. Let's give another shout out to some people showing up in here right now. We got Draven Nero. The Indie Gamer has showed up. What's happening, brother? C Script is here. What's happening? The Indie Gamer. Actually, I think I said that twice, but he's twice as nice.
Yes, he is.
Lunker. I would stop and say that one. King Ram is here. What's going on, King Ram? Thanks for stopping in. Monkey Punch is here as well. Yeah, we got a good crew here once again, Primal. So they came because they know what's up.
I'm sure they all came.
They all came. You've got this panel nice and moist right now. I think you get the chat nice and moisty up here. It's so wet. I think the ink on my computer is actually running inside the screen here. All right, brother. Let's get down to it. We got some great topics here tonight, guys, and obviously there's one that's been really stirring shit up the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with this. It's the title of the video: Sony crawling into bed with Microsoft over their streaming
Oh,
service.
man.
Kind of came out of left field. No one really saw this
Yeah.
coming, but it's not entirely surprising. And I'm going to get your take on it, Primal. But basically, guys, if you haven't heard the news, is Sony apparently reached out to Microsoft. They've signed some sort of partnership in order to use the Azure servers. As you might recall, like a few years back, Microsoft spent an absolute pile of money to acquire the Azure servers, which obviously are a major cloud streaming service, and it's a huge part of Microsoft's tech now and in the future, especially
Mhm.
as streaming and stuff gets more popular. Sony obviously is behind the eight ball in that regards. They don't have the infrastructure, the money, and so on and so forth to kind of keep pace with Microsoft, but they also can't allow their own services to be sort of second fiddle because they stand to lose a ton of money if they don't keep their players engaged with the best service out there. So they're basically
Exactly.
renting it. XCloud and PlayStation Cloud both hosted on the Microsoft Azure from FreeJack. I got to get FreeJack on this panel at some point in time because FreeJack is not only a good friend of mine. I have a lot of respect for him, but he's a really good tech guy. He knows the ins
Yeah.
and outs of the shit that I often bumble. So
Right.
FreeJack, I definitely got to get you on this podcast. Let me know some night when you want to come on because I really want you to explain this shit to us layman
Yeah, he can
people.
educate me because, like I said the couple weeks before, I'm not tech savvy when it comes to the system, so it'd be great to have him.
C-Script has a good point. He says the old saying goes, "The enemy of Google is my friend," and that's exactly what Crazy Greek do. What's happening? So, Prama, you've heard this news. Give us what you see from
Yes.
this. Tell us what your impression is of this and what you think this ultimately means, and then I'll give you my take.
Well, I remember, like, when I first saw it, I thought it was somebody's meme. Like, I thought it was some little joke on Twitter, and then I really went into it. I'm like, "Wow, this is actually a step forward where we're being progressive with our gaming and our systems," and Sony is slow as fuck. Um, they are definitely slow rollers, but I'm really happy to see that they are starting to be not necessarily as progressive as Microsoft, but they are taking very slow baby steps to try and be able to provide more for the gamers because that's what it's all about. Now it cracks me up because you have these fanboys, these Sony fanboy, the ponies in the Xbox. Whoever came up with those names, you're awful. Um, and it's like, oh, look at Sony made Microsoft bend the knee, or no, it was Microsoft that made Sony bend the knee. Why can't we just be happy that hey, these two supposed rival companies are working together? Do you know what that means? That means that's a future for us to have even more. And I just think that this is like the one small step, like landing on the moon type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's great. I'm very glad Sony is taking the steps forward, and I'm not saying now all of a sudden, all the Xbox games are gonna be on
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation and vice versa. I do not see that because exclusives are important. Um, like I have my PlayStation for my single player stuff. I have the Xbox for the multiplayer stuff, but it would be great if there was a way to kind of have more crossing. Let's cross together
Right.
and wait a little bit. How crazy would it be if there was like a Sony Microsoft Studio game? That would
Mm-hmm.
be absolutely fucking insane. If they both took the best qualities out of each other, they could make something extremely impressive, but I know they're both looking out for themselves in the end, but this is just a great step forward.
I totally agree. It is a great step forward for mankind. No, it is a great step forward for video games and video gamers in general. I mean, it's a sign of things to come. But hey, the writing is on the wall. 10 years ago, something like this would have been unfathomable. But what we're seeing is the gaming landscape, guys, is changing drastically. Not only are we heading more towards that digital future, towards streaming and things like that, and you either get on the ship or you sink. But there are big players in the lurks. We're talking about the likes of Google. We are talking about the likes of Amazon. We are also looking at how Apple is taking bigger and bigger chunks of the gaming pie. Everybody wants in on that $1 billion industry. There is a ton of money out there to be made, as even games like Fortnite and microtransactions have proven. So, look, it's a smart thing for Sony because Sony, look, in the last couple of years, Sony has done a couple of things that Microsoft has not done very well, and that's they've had top tier games that have been well received critically, financially. They have done, but Sony is a little bit behind when it comes to technology. Like I said, I know while the PlayStation 4, the original model, was a little bit more of a behemoth than the Xbox One. I mean,
Mhm.
you look at the difference in the Xbox One X. You look at how Microsoft went above and beyond. They put that 4K Blu-ray. Like I think Microsoft has been forward thinking when it comes to technology. They've been forward thinking when it comes to, like I said, they're streaming in the future. Game
Yes.
Pass is huge. The numbers were just released a few weeks ago. They're saying something like 9 million users. You add up the math, that's a lot of moolah every month. That's a lot of investment back into games, back into infrastructure. Sony's saving grace is the PlayStation division, but I mean, there are other things afoot. There are other competitors out there they have to compete with. And at the end of the day, if you look at Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, one thing they've all been very profitable this gen. They've all done it in different ways, but they've all been successful. It's not like, oh, I'm number one and I'm number two, and if you're number two, you can't survive in this game, dog. No, it ain't like that shit, man. Like there is plenty of
Right.
room for competitors. They're all making money hand over fist. They're just doing it in different ways, and it's not all
Exactly.
hardware based, right?
Right, they're all doing it in their own ways, and Sony has a formula that has worked for years and years and years. They came out way before Xbox was even a thing, and that's
Mm,
why Xbox came in and did their thing. So it's just, I think Sony has gotten to the point where their formula is starting to get a little old, and they need to have something more, have more innovation, and start doing some things different without losing that same formula.
yeah. Well, let me break it down in the layman's terms. If you had a house and you spent the last 30, 40 years building a magnificent house, and you had this fantastic yard, and this new guy on the street comes in, the new guy being Google, et cetera, and says, "Well, I'm going to put up a house right next to yours, dog. And you know what? I'm not going to have a yard bigger than yours, but my yard's actually going to be so big that it's basically going to cut into yours. So what do? You get your buddies to come on over, you reinforce the fucking wall, and you say, you ain't getting my yard, bitch, so you can back up. So I think, that's kind of, again, Pepsi and Coca-Cola coexist,
Yes.
Burger King and McDonald's coexist. There is room out there for money. Some people are going to get more of it than others. But again, as we've seen, Microsoft has been turning over money hand over fist. Like whether it's the Xbox, their whole division as a whole is making billions of fucking dollars. They're not hurting for cash.
Right.
But sure, they want to get more games to more players because that's smart. That's a smart business move. The more people playing games means the more money they can invest, means the bigger your target audience. It means that success rates go up with those target audiences. It's just common sense. It doesn't take a genius. Even Noof Nukem can figure that shit out. Look, I think it's a cool thing. I think it's a great thing. Doesn't mean that Sony games are going to be on Microsoft's machine tomorrow or vice versa. This is really nothing to do with the gaming side. It is about the tech side. And what does Microsoft stand to gain? Well, Microsoft can also probably dwell on Sony's expertise from a few areas. I'm sure they're not just, hey, you can take all my shit and we get nothing out of this. If nothing
Right.
else, Sony is probably paying Microsoft a nice little handy chunk to use this technology, which is good because Microsoft paid a fucking absolute fortune for it, and then they can put it back into games and infrastructure and studios, et cetera, et cetera. It's the circle of life in the video game world, right? Primal?
Exactly. Yep. And they just I don't know. They just it's just like I feel like sometimes when you take one small step forward, you're gonna end up taking like 5 steps back. Like that's how I've been seeing Sony and their circle of life. So if Microsoft can do something to help out a brother from another mother and country, then by all means do it. But you are
Philly
definitely
Eagle, there's never been a console war, not for real, just 20 losers on the Twitter page screaming about sales. Yes, it's one of the most
yes.
pathetic
What the
things. It's one thing to
hell?
scream about your games, but it's really bad to scream about sales and numbers and
Somebody,
bullshit
yeah,
because it means
somebody was
nothing to us,
yeah,
right?
no, somebody was going on and on and on about all like the Sony exclusive sales. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what does that have to do with me and what I plan on playing? Like, it doesn't matter how well a game does because it matters on how I feel about it. Same thing with consoles. Like, why the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I went to a GameStop a few weeks ago, and
Yes, do tell.
yeah, I was there talking to these guys because they've never met a girl, and a customer came in and he asked them what is better, Xbox or the PlayStation, and the guys were actually giving him adequate information. They're also mentioning, if you have a lot of friends and you want to do multiplayer, then go with the Xbox. If you want your single player, whatever, go with Sony. And he said, "Well, which console sells more?" And I was completely baffled by that. Why does that matter? I never understood that, and I feel like lately, ever since this whole like circle jerk going on with Sony and Microsoft, people are just shouting out all this dumb shit like it matters. It drives me nuts. I don't understand. I don't like people. I don't like certain people on Twitter. They drive me nuts.
Oh, amen to that. Look, again, I raised my hand and guilty as charged. I've been guilty of saying some stupid shit on Twitter myself, and I won't sit here and
Yeah.
deny that fact because there are times I've even had to stop and go, "Noof, slap yourself, motherfucker." Uh, because I get caught up in things, and I think what stirs my blood the most is, again, when you're watching the social media side of things and you see the dumb people, not the educated people that can argue a valid point and can say it and articulate it well, but just the dumb ones that look. When I see idiots that come on and they argue about consoles, and the first thing out of their thing is Xbox got no fucking games. Okay, right off the bat, you get an automatic idiot stick from me, okay? I don't want to what the fuck have I been playing? I got a backlog of games. I got no games. Well, I got no
Yeah,
games because
I'm so glad
Microsoft
that
didn't
shit's
make
died
30
down
games.
a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I think in the
What's
last 6 or 7 months, hasn't Microsoft probably made more or released more exclusives in the last year than Sony? Are certainly well up there on the same page, you know.
Yeah, but
Um,
some Sony fan will still say, "Yeah, well, you guys don't have it exclusives." Obviously, they don't really do the research and they don't really care. They're gonna fight blindly for Sony,
yeah,
and
okay.
they're the ones that only have one game.
Yeah, and Xbox doesn't have those 30 games that come from Japan that, like, outside of an actual person who follows it wouldn't have a fucking clue. Like, I walk into GameStop or EB Games, or even go into the stores and I see these titles, and they're generally Japanese because you know what Japanese games are generally like. Like, they have these, obviously titles that make sense to Japanese, but for me it's like
Yeah,
Ruku Dukan 5 Kick Ass, and
yeah,
they're
like
like, you're just what,
Kitsunaruko
yeah,
'86.
yeah, like, what the fuck is this? Like, don't get me wrong. Don't twist this and say Noof is being an idiot in here or saying something shit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they have these games that come over PlayStation. You never see them on Xbox. And I don't know. I've never heard of these fucking games before. I've heard of the Yakuzas and I've heard of the Sega stuff and, Tales of Vesperia and a few of these type of games, sure. But there's a lot of, it's even like Nintendo. You go into the
There's a
Nintendo store right
lot.
now, and you go to the Nintendo store, and there's indie titles coming out to Ying Yang. There's indie titles coming out faster than I can take craps
Oh
right
my
now. Like,
god,
it's,
I
it's
know.
ridiculous. It's like,
Eh,
I think it's like five a day, and I'm like, I can't even keep up with it anymore. It's
So
like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
it was never like. Do you remember back in the day on the 360 where there would just be like three indie games and they were 200 Microsoft points apiece? Now some of these indie games are close to full price.
Oh,
I've seen some at like at 49.99. I'm like, who are you? Where did you come from? And it's but no, on the PlayStation, I'm a major JRPG person, but there is an obnoxious amount of random ass weird JRPGs. I think a lot of them are possibly dating sims,
mm,
um, or some of like the side scrolling shooters and stuff like that. But I guess that would be equivalent to our indie games. Maybe I'm not
yeah.
too sure,
A
but
lot of these indie games remind me of the old movie stores back in the day when you didn't have the internet and all the trailers, and all you could judge a movie on was basically by the cover of the box art. And you went, "Wow, this looks really cool." And you take it home, and you go, "That was the worst piece of shit I've
yeah.
ever seen." Like, man, that they spent all of their money on the box art because the damn movie looks like crap. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, man, I remember, like, going through games and, like, trying to decide if I liked it or not by going through the little booklet and be like, "Oh, that picture looks cool. I might be able to do that." And there was actually, like, a description of the game's story. It wasn't just like, "Here it is." And I don't know, I miss the old days sometimes instead of
I
just all
miss
the
movie
shit.
stores.
Like,
Anyone in the chat fucking miss movie stores? Probably don't. But indie game. Oh yes, the indie gamer. That's too funny because he's always promoting indies. Look, Indy, there are some fantastic indies. Okay, there's no question about it. But the problem is, for every fantastic indie, there is probably now about 20 average to mediocre indies, and it's hard to weed out the good ones from the bad ones. And I don't have enough money or time
I
to
know.
invest on
Mhm.
all of these games to find out if they're good. I got to go on word of mouth, or I got to go buy a video Now sometimes they'll have a demo, which is great, but more often than not, see, that's what I loved about back in the day on the 360 when indies started coming in under Xbox Live Arcade, is you
Mhm.
could play every single one of them, every one you could play and test out. And I actually did a lot of the time just to see if they would be worth dropping that 5, 10, or $15, or probably back then it
Right.
was actually points. Remember the fucking Microsoft
Yeah,
points?
the 200
Ugh.
points, 180 points, and, like, all
2,500
this,
points. Now I'm
and
running
it
for
was crazy.
48. What am I going to do with those?
I know, and it was such a mind fuck because sometimes, like, you'd be looking like, "Ooh, it's only 1,800 Microsoft points," and you're like, "Wait a second, that's like $30."
Mhm.
But looking at it, it was like, "Oh, that's nothing. Here, take another 400. Here's another 400." And you never really realized how much it was that you were spending.
Oh, by the way, speaking of indies, for all you guys out there, if you're looking for a really good game to have on your Xbox, PlayStation 4, or Switch, and I definitely recommend it for the Switch because they have no games like this. Super Blood Hockey. I downloaded that game. It's just
What?
like Super Blood Hockey. It's just like Blades of Steel. You know, it's that fast paced back and forth. You know, you shoot at the goal, he moves up and down. But the graphics are kind of more reminiscent of the old Mario Hockey. You know, the NES one where you had the fat player and skinny player and shit. But
Yeah.
the funny part is about this, it actually has a franchise mode, and you start out with this little fat white guy, little dude, and you basically make your team name, and you go in, and apparently he has to sell a kidney right off the bat. They put him on an operating table, they take out his kidney so he can afford to buy the team. Your players are a bunch of prisoners that you got to get out of prison, and you got to make them exercise, and you have to feed them, and you have to make some guys go on a diet because they're overweight, and that's how you build up your skills for to go on the ice to win the hockey games, and so on and so forth. I definitely recommend you check it out if you're looking
Wow.
for a fast-paced hockey indie. It is freaking hilarious. The names of the players alone are ridiculous, and the stuff that you got to do in the franchise mode is like, well, this is wacky as old shit. And it's the same thing. If you lose the fight, you go in the penalty box, you win, and you can actually get these codes if you play the game a lot to have more than your 6 players on the ice, and you can turn up the blood so there's like blood splattering everywhere. Yeah, it's
God.
just like a giant. It's just like 30 people came out and had a period on the ice. It's terrible.
That's fucking awful. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Plug it up. All right. So awful.
Slap shot in the twat. There you go. PZ McNasty, what's happening, brother? How you doing? Who do we miss here? Who's popping into the chat here?
Got
Uh,
Shizzo and
yeah, we miss anybody. C Script is here. What's going on, C Script? And yes, I should visit
Red
some other countries.
Bull.
Would love to visit Japan, actually. Who else we got here? Okay, Jay Slayer's in the house. There you go. Turn up the blood, baby. Turn it up. Turn it up. All right. Oh, yeah, there's lots of cool indie games out there. There's another cool one out there, The Messenger, that I want to play. It's like an old school Ninja Gaiden game. So
Mm.
that one looks really cool. But anyway, let's get on to the next topic here before we get off track. See, it's good to have Primal back because we can really rant and roll here. Um, so anyway, the Sony thing, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Some people are getting worked up about it, but I think it's only good news overall. It's nice that Microsoft would even do that because they could have basically said, "No, we're not interested," but they went ahead and did it anyway, right? So that's cool.
I, I'm sure they have their own like malicious, deep down secret plans and all this stuff on the side. But right now, they're just having a nice face, which is good.
We're 21 days into May. April was a pretty eventful month. Some big days dropping, including Mortal Kombat and Days Gone, which I'm still playing, by the way. Also playing Rage 2 right now, which I forgot to ask you, probably at the start of the show. What the hell have you been playing?
Oh my god, I haven't been playing fucking a damn thing. And it's very unfortunate. Like this past weekend, I just spent myself excuse me. Besides joking, which I don't really do. Um
Was that powdered jizz you just swallowed?
you know how I like them older. Um
Metaphorical. What's going on, bro?
no, I spent my weekend getting lost in New York. I kept driving and then all of a sudden I started hitting toll booths and I realized maybe I should turn around. And then no, I haven't played a damn thing. I would really like to have or play something fresh. I think that I need something kind of new because I've already kind of played through everything. I would love to play Rage 2. That is definitely a game that I am looking at to play. I'm seeing everybody enjoying it, and it was one of the games that really caught my interest when it was first. What's the word I'm looking for? When they first showed it. But Yeah, no, I need something new to play. And I'm actually I don't know. I'm stuck. I just work and I'm tired, but I really want to play.
Yeah, you sound like
Adult
you've
Life
had a
sucks.
rough couple of weeks there, and I can
No, it's
sympathize with
horrible
you. So
at my job. I'm getting completely demolished by the amount of people I have to service.
that
This
didn't sound right. Can I come
but
visit you at your
yeah,
job?
yeah, it's a very busy job. Yeah. So what about you, New? How are you enjoying
Well,
Rage 2?
I like I said, Mortal Kombat. I don't know. I'm not even finished the story mode. I basically just dabbled with that one at this point, which I like it. But you know what? Again, it's a fighting game, and I'm sorry, don't mean any disrespect to the people that love fighting games, but I would say it's my last time spending $80 on a fighting game. Just because you know what? Honestly, I know what I'm getting into. I like them. I just don't play them. They're kind of like sports games to me now. Back in the day, I loved them. Would play them for hours. Now it's not that way anymore. But I've been playing Rage 2. That game is absolutely incredible, guys. I love it.
Oh,
I
really?
think if you like shooters, if you like Doom, you like a bit of open world. Yeah, I'd say if you like Doom, you like the Mad Max game, and you like shooters in general, especially a game that say kind of reminds me of between Doom and what was that one, Bulletstorm. It kind of feels a little bit like a
Yeah.
combination of those with Mad Max thrown in. If you kind of like that, I think you're going to love Rage 2. It's way better than the first one, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
I
anyway.
need some action. I need some fast-paced action. That's something I haven't had in a very long time. I've just been, just grinding slowly, and I love my RPGs, but I need something to get my blood pumping a little bit. So Rage 2 is definitely something I'm interested in.
Yeah. So
Ah,
yeah, I've been playing that. Like last night, I went back and forgot all about the fact that Tomb Raider had DLC not long ago. Went back and played that last night, The Way Home or whatever it was. That was fantastic. There's a couple of new tombs there with the DLC. They're absolutely amazing. One wasn't Spider-Man watched me play it last night, as a matter of fact, and it wasn't as complex, but it was harder. You got these fucking fire things, and you have very little time to traverse along walls and stuff. It was kind of nuts, but yeah, it was good. Still love that game, man. People, if you haven't played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, fuck, go and play this game. It's on Game Pass. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. It was one of the best games outside of God of War last year, and people should be playing it. And why it's got so much hate still boggles my fucking mind. Why people have not played this game, and you haven't. It's just amazing. I love the Tomb Raider franchise. It's right
oh,
up
I
there. It's my top.
know. It was very underrated. This last one, people have their expectations so high, and if it doesn't meet them, then it means that the game is shit, and that's absolutely not true. To me, it was a great game, and then I love the story progression, on how Lara turned into the Tomb Raider. I feel like
Mhm.
she truly did in this last one. So
Yeah, she did. Some people didn't like the slower pacing. I actually thought it was good. I mean, yes, it had a little bit less of the shooting as opposed to the first two games, but the fact that it felt a little bit more like the Tomb Raider games of old because there was
yeah,
more exploration, there was more tombs, obviously.
right.
Yeah, it was definitely a throwback, and like I said, with the new age mechanics and stuff. And I think that Eidos Montreal did a hell of a great job. I think it was definitely worthy of that franchise. A lot of people, as soon as the dev changes, they're like, "Oh, this game won't be good." And I was like, "No, I think it was just as good in many ways." I still like the second game the best because I like the setting and the way that game went. But overall, I think it's a great franchise.
It absolutely is. They definitely gave the Tomb Raider series justice, in my opinion, because there was some pretty bad ones back on the 360 Legend. Um, but yeah, no, I'm very pleased, and I wouldn't mind seeing another one.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, Rage 2 is another great game. Like I said, some of the reviews are spot on, some don't really do it justice, but everything's opinions, man. Like I said, one person's trash, another man's treasure, and I don't disrespect any of you for having a difference of opinion. That is not how we roll. But let's talk about the games that are making headlines. The games that are tops from the month of April. And I'd say if you have at least five of the games on this list right now, if you own at least five, maybe if you have at least 10, then you definitely, I'd say I'll go with at least 10. If you got at least 10 of the games on this list, you're probably addicted to games. So number one for April was, let's go to back order. Let's start with number 20, work our way back. Number 20 was Borderlands. Number 19 was Battlefield 5. Number 18 was Jump Force. Number 17, believe it or not, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, still hanging around. Number 16 is one that Primal will certainly probably identify with. Final Fantasy X/X2, the HD
Woohoo.
remaster. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe 15. How many times can Nintendo make the same game and milk it for all it's worth?
I
Oh my
know.
lord. Minecraft somehow is building its way back in there at number 14. Not sure what's up with that, but Minecraft does not want to die. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, there's a fantastic game at number 13. It just picked up last week, by the way. Fantastic game. Mario Kart 8 is still kicking around. They're still driving at number 12. At number 11, it is Red Dead Redemption 2. Certainly losing steam, and you can see it on some sales right now, but a fantastic game. Yoshi's Crafted World is number 10. NBA 2K19. No wonder fucking 2K keeps pumping these games out like some people pump out babies. Like, honest to God. At number 9, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Number 8. Yeah, you kind of figure those were in the top 10. Sekiro
Yeah.
Shadows Die Twice is at number 7. It's so hard. It's still in there. Grand Theft Auto fucking 5. Every
Yeah.
person
Fucking
and their
insane.
grandmother has a copy of this game, and it's still number 6. Grand Theft Auto 5 is higher than Red Dead, and it's still in the top fucking 10. And we wonder why sometimes, too, the game division, when people criticize them, they don't make enough new IPs. Well, there's your reason. Because the fucking sequels just don't go away. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is at number 5. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is at number 4. MLB 19 The Show at number 3. So baseball fever has hit. People got it. Days Gone is at number 2. And at number 1 is Mortal Kombat 11. There you go. There's your top fucking 20. There's some games in there that are definitely deserve to be there. There's some that should have been long fucking out of that top 20. There's so many good games out there, and this is something again. There's new games coming out all the time. There's one that just came out that I'm really interested in. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat have played it, but it's called that one. Was it A Plague's Tale? I think is that what
I
it's called?
want to play that. It's on my wish list. I want to play that game
Is
so
it, or
bad.
Plague? What the fuck's the official name of that game? But it looks really good.
Yeah, it is a Plague's Tale.
A
Wait, no,
Plague's
it's
Tale.
not.
No.
Hang on. What is it?
It's
But
got
no,
something to do with
yeah,
Plague.
it's a plague tale in a sense.
There you go. That looks really cool. I've actually seen some videos, and the graphics are nuts for a game that sort of kind of come out of left field.
Right.
Really cool.
I
Dreadpool owns 8 of the 20. BZ has 5. A Plague Tale Innocence. Thank you, Indy and Primal. Philly had Red Dead Redemption 2, and he returned it. Well, I hope he didn't bring it back on a horse. Could have took a while. A Plague's Tale. Your teeth are rotten. Philly says, wow, I have 0 of those games. So Philly either has very rare taste or he just hasn't been buying many games. That's crazy when you don't have any of the games on that top fucking 20. Red Boring too. Yeah. Chizno's a sucker for the Final Fan or for the Mario games. Spider-Man has Final Fantasy X. He loves the Square Enix stuff. But yeah, pretty cool list. Going to be interesting to see what comes out on top for May. I assume the Rage will probably be up there, at least we hope. Yeah, I've got Breath of the Wild, GTA. Let me just see. I got to go back and see how many in this. Okay, Mortal Kombat I have. Days Gone I have. MLB, no. Tom Clancy, no. Super Smash Bros., no. GTA 5. So right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 of the 20.
But how many have you beaten?
Well, Mario Kart is 1. Grand Theft Auto is 2. Probably 2 of the 9. Wow. I guess I better stop beating myself in the washroom and go back to beating some games. Jesus. Wow, Wilmy Hood has 18 of them. God damn, Wilmy. See, that is the problem with being a multi-console owner is your backlog just gets ridiculous. It gets ridiculous when you got 1, but Dreadpool is 0. What the fuck's wrong with you, Dread? Just kidding. Iceman's a big sucker for the Resident Evil games. Yeah, pretty cool, man. But anyway, let's move on to maybe our next topic. How many of those do you have, Primal?
I don't know what's going on in my throat right now. I have about.
You got some water with you there? You got something to drink?
I didn't say I don't know what's going in my throat. Yeah, I did. I just grabbed some water. I do have a few of them. Some of them don't really even interest me that much. Like you were talking about Mortal Kombat earlier. Like
Mhm.
it is the OG of mature rated games in general, and
Mm.
also like one of the best fighters. But once you've played a fighter, how much more? Like yeah, they can add extra moves and stuff like that, but it's a fighter. Like you said, just same thing with the sports games. It's the same thing over and over. But I guess you could say the same thing about my love for Final Fantasy. Everybody could say that the Final Fantasies are all the same too, but
Yeah, people going out and buying the remasters instead of the new games.
I know, no, that is fucking crazy because before I was playing Final Fantasy X, I was playing the remaster of Tales. So it's like I haven't really been playing too many new games lately.
Gotcha. I hear. Well, that's life. We all go through the spurts, and I'm sure you guys have them too. And I get them every once in a while, where it's either two things: either for some reason I'm in a bad frame of mind and I just don't want to play games, or sometimes it's the other way where I'm actually wanting to play a game really bad, but then I look at my backlog and I can't fucking decide what to play because there's so many. You guys
Yeah.
get either one of those?
Oh my
Where
god.
you sit down and it's like, can somebody just tell me what to play because I have no idea what I want to
Yes.
start, and
It's
then you're
like
afraid of starting
I
the
have
game.
nothing to play, and then you have all these games,
Yeah.
and you actually spend an hour just staring at your log of games.
Yeah, and there's some games that you know that you can pick up and you can play them for the 20 minutes. And it's great. You get that little that, but there's a lot of games you also know that once you pick them up, it's the kind of game that you shouldn't put down or you don't want to put down. And then all
Right.
of a sudden that 1 hour game session, you're like 4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, fuck it, I just gotta keep going, and you're losing sleep, and then the game starts to consume you and that sort of stuff. And
Right.
that feels like the Assassin's Creed games lately. Like when
Oh,
I start playing
that was
Origins and
frustrating.
Odyssey, it's just like, damn, I can't put it down.
Yeah, no, and, Odyssey, I was like that too, but also for me, I can't play 2 games in a row that are similar. I can't do it. I have to have a little bit of RPG, a little bit of action adventure, first person shooter, third person shooter. I need to have, a variety, and I think I might be getting JRPG dry, and I need something I need something to get me wet again.
JRPG dry. She just coined a new term, folks.
Well, because also like they have the last game that I beat before, or right after Tales is Borderlands, of course. Absolutely, I fucking love Borderlands. I'm so excited for 3, and Rage 2 in my mind was going to be my surrogate Borderlands 3 until they announced it. So, all right, I'm going off topic. Sorry.
Primal's probably playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm gonna be like one of the first people to get the achievement for climbing all the fucking stone penises in this game.
I definitely did that. I totally was just like just chilling on everything. Who doesn't
I'm just
want to
hanging
climb
out with balls here. I got a hell of a grip. I can climb up anything hanging on there, right?
it, right?
Jago
Oh,
Cougar is in the house.
and
What's up, Jago?
something else that I do, I don't know if you do it too, but if you start a game and you're like 5 minutes into it and you're like, I'm not feeling this, and then you keep changing games. I do that often too. I can't stick with something for too long. I don't know. Just me.
Philly likes the BioWare game, so Philly, you're probably still playing Anthem, which should be on that top fucking 20 list. I can't believe it's not there.
I'm not.
But
Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah, I like Anthem, honestly. Some people just hating on the game still, but I think it's a good romp. Honestly, I recommend it. I think right now you can buy fucking Anthem dirt cheap already. So, like, if you guys are on the fence with Anthem now, go pick it up. It's definitely worth the time. It's a good developer. They're gonna come back hard. Let me tell you, with some crazy stuff. Yeah, they're gonna come back hard. All right.
Yeah.
Jago loves Anthem. We know that. We've
Yep.
seen your outfits, Jago. Those are like some level 30 fucking major awesome shit, dude. Um, Draven Arrow, marriage must be a nightmare. It can be at times. Let me tell you, you got to find the right woman or man or whatever it may be these days. Um,
Whatever it is, whatever floats your boat.
yes, whatever floats your boat is all I can say. Because in this fucking society now, I have no idea anymore. Honest to Jesus. Let's
It
talk about
doesn't
some.
even need to have a pulse. So
No,
I'm not saying
no,
fuck dead people. I'm saying like artificial things. So
absolutely. Um, let me see here. Let's talk about some TV and movies because obviously well, in my opinion, one of the greatest TV series of all time finally came to a bitter and saddening end this past Sunday. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes, Game of Thrones. It is over, and I'm thoroughly saddened because now I have nothing to look forward to on Sundays. Now my life is over. No, but I look. I'll start with you. I know, Prama, you technically haven't seen all the episodes, but you've
I've
kind of seen them through all
I've
of the social media.
yeah, I know more than enough. I don't even have to watch it. And unfortunately, for me, I lost interest right at the beginning of season 8. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was for me. Just something didn't feel the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to do this without spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet. But for me, things were just wrapped up too quickly. Certain decisions and choices of what happened to the characters that survived at the end, I did not agree with, except for maybe one or two. Um, Certain deaths as well of some characters.
Mm-hmm.
I was very disappointed. One of the first deaths in the 5th episode,
Mm.
like the first 10 minutes of it was bullshit. I was very disappointed in that and why it even happened to begin with. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I feel like that they just kind of wrapped everything up like
Yeah.
hurry up, let's end this shit. And what was even worse
What
was
can I
that
say?
huh?
Season 8. Look, I'll just ruin it for you now. Season 8, episode 6. Danny gives birth to a fucking dragon egg. Okay.
Oh my god. No, you're just as bad. You're just as bad as Jago. It is his Red Dead
Uh,
2
uh,
spoiler. But no, like what it kills me because they had leaks. The
yeah.
entire plan of the season and the leaks matched exactly what happened to a T. And I was hoping so hard that that it was a fake leak, that they're just going to make a twist and all this stuff. So I was already kind of pre-aware of
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. But this was almost a decade of watching this show, and just to have it kind of all just wrapped up really bothered me. But what can you do? There's like these petitions to change it and stuff like that. There's people
Well,
are talking about like the end of Dexter and all this stuff and like which one's
what
worse.
can you say? The most improbable character in the whole fucking show, the crippled kid in the wheelchair, ends up being the big fucking kahuna at the end of the day.
Spoiled
Really.
it. You're
I don't care.
spoiled
Yeah,
it.
yeah, if go now, I don't care if we're gonna drop spoilers or not. If you're still watching the show, then I'm going to tell you right now. Just put this on mute for about the next 10 minutes or so, and then we should be wrapped up. I'll write it in the
It doesn't
chat.
matter now. It's too fucking late.
GOT
Why do you
spoilers
have to
done. Okay, GOT spoilers done. So if you don't like the spoilers, I'm dropping them here for you guys. Then
oh,
just put
right,
this
then I
on
guess
mute
it
for
gets
now.
spoiled too.
Yeah.
Um, Varys's death, bald
Hmm.
guy,
Yeah.
was the most biggest bullshit I have ever seen, ever. And he was totally cool with it. He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
This is a
Just
well, my time has come, and it looks like the dragon is going to burn me, Tyrion. Well, he didn't say that, but that's kind of his
no,
expression on his
it
face.
was just along the
I'm
line.
going to find out what it's like to be barbecue.
Oh, oh my god. And it's
Brand the
just
cripple is King Dingaling. Yep.
with no working dingaling, as Sansa pointed out. Uh
Well, you know what frustrates me the most is fucking Jon Snow is right back where he ended up, but where he
I
fucking
know.
started,
What the fuck?
right?
Yeah, what the
Jon
fuck do you
Snow becomes a
expect?
fucking Night's Watch, fucking master of the Night's
Of
Watch, and then
what?
all of it. Now he's back to the Night's Watch again. What the guard a big fucking icy wall in
Yeah,
case of what?
yeah, there's nothing on the
In
other
case of
side.
global warming, that's their next threat.
Jesus, right?
Game of Thrones, global warming
It's
edition. The whole fucking thing is melting.
it's
Oh
just a
man.
shame. It's a shame how just everybody kind of got into their positions. Arya is an explorer now, and kind of
I
just
want to clap for Philly Eagle. Sansa's the most annoying character ever. Oh my God, Philly. Thank you so much. Because I was thinking that too. Like, she is such a fucking prude. Like, she's one of the just, like, if she was my girlfriend, honest to God, I'd be like, I'm going to smack you. Like, seriously. Just, she just drives me nuts, that girl. I didn't care for Arya too much when she
he's
first started,
salty.
but she really came around.
I love her.
Salty escaped into the house. I knew I could smell the salt shaker a mile away. What's going on, Salty? We're talking GOT. Oh man, I'm excited. But I'm just gonna quick and throw it back over to you. All I'm gonna say, wrap it up, is I was still very satisfied with the 8th season of the show. I think the biggest disappointment was the fact that, due to the budget, due to whatever reason, the writing, the season 8 should have definitely had, 3 or 4 more episodes. As far as I'm concerned, I was really disappointed the fact that all of the big stuff went down in number 3. Then we had 3 episodes. They were trying to flesh out the characters,
Right.
that sort of thing. It felt rushed. It felt contrived a little bit, but overall, I was still happy. I didn't really have a major issue with the way anything really worked out. Everybody sort of kind of got their just desserts, their just due
Yeah,
to a
but
certain
you can't
degree.
see, come on. Why, like, that was, I don't
You
know.
know,
I guess it was
but
kind of poetic, but
well, according to George R. R. Martin, he figured the series itself, based like if it was more like true to the books and it was kept on going, he figures like that show could have went for about 13 seasons,
right.
right?
Well,
And I feel that way too, because the way that they fleshed out the characters, they spent that buildup of 7 years fleshing these characters out to make you get a better understanding of them. This is why we loved them or we hated them, and then everything really came crashing down, quite literally, in the last like pretty much 2 episodes. It was like, what the fuck, right?
yeah, I don't know. It makes me more curious as to what's going to happen when he finally does finish the book. The final book. I just want to see because like you said, like I don't know. It could have kept going. I wouldn't mind it. He'd
Yeah.
like to have kept going. I could have had a whole season just against the Night King.
Yeah.
That would have been so fucking badass.
Crazy Greek Dude says it took a year off for what? I think part of it was because they were waiting for George R. R. Martin to finish
Yeah,
up
they
some
had
of
to.
his writing. That
Yeah,
was part of it. And the second of all was the massive production that was done in season 8, like those massive battle scenes, the special effects. They were pretty large scale. So totally understandable why they took the extra time.
right. So I guess we'll see. I don't know. It is sad that it's over and it's done with. You don't sign a fucking petition. Like they're
That's
not gonna do
ridiculous.
anything. The
Yeah,
only
they're gonna go
time
out and spend millions of dollars again just to redo a few episodes, right? Yeah, not
right,
happening.
no. You can go write your own fanfic and jerk off to it if that's what you really
Yeah.
want. And but the only time I actually ever like has seen that work was remember Mass Effect 3 with the ending, and then
Hmm.
eventually they actually
Yeah.
added an
Yeah.
extra thing because people were crying about it, and it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Can you imagine what it must be like to be a creator in this day and age, and everybody wants you to change stuff? Can you imagine if somebody starts walking into an art gallery and be like, "I look at the Mona Lisa, like, no, she needs to be a little bit skinnier, and I don't like her dress; it should be red." Like this is the kind of society we're in. Where nobody's satisfied with anything. Everybody has their own interpretation of what they think the artwork should be, and it drives me nuts. It's like, accept it. It is what it is. That is their vision. That is what they have. Just because you think this character should live or this character should die, fuck, I thought there was lots of people in The Walking Dead that shouldn't fucking die, but it was the cool part about the show was not fucking always knowing who the fuck was going to die, because I
Right,
hate that when it's so fucking predictable. It becomes like WWE wrestling when you fucking know who's going to win the match because it's all scripted. Like, I don't want that shit. I want shows that have unpredictability, have characters with depth and shit like that.
right.
Speaking of great shows, guys, check out fucking, if you still have HBO, because a lot of people ditched it already, check out that one Chernobyl. Holy fuck, that is a cool show.
Oh, I keep looking at that. I looked at that like 5 times today because now that Game of Thrones is over, what am I gonna watch? So, oh man. All right, so Chernobyl definitely.
Yes, Timothy Dixon, like an easy mode in Sekiro. But that's a little bit different, don't you think? Because basically, unlike a TV show or movie, which anybody can technically watch, a game is not something that everybody can play. Like, I want to play games to have fun. I don't want to fucking play a game and swear on it because I don't have the patience of the next person, but it is what it is. I don't want to go into a goddamn Sekiro fucking conversation here because it'll always get my blood boiling. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Me?
Primal? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to think of TV shows to watch.
That's a good one. I mean, there's so many TV shows now, it's unbelievable. Ever since like with Netflix and Hulu and the internet now, like it seems like there's more TV shows than ever. Now a lot of them, some go on forever, and some TV shows they seem like they come and end very, very, very quickly, right?
Yeah, and some of them are actually quality shows. That's why I would like to get into them. You know, there's definitely some shows that need to go, like Grey's Anatomy. I think I watched that back when I was pregnant. That was when
Mm-hmm.
I was like 18 years old, and the shit's still going on, and they just
Yeah.
renewed it for like 10 more seasons. But yeah, I don't know. Some shows end too soon, and some just need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty particular. I don't get much time to watch TV shows, so I have to be very, very like particular about what I pick up and watch. And let me just say, as far as the superhero shows, I have no time for them. Honestly, I can't get into the superhero
About
TV shows,
Umbrella
and I don't know why. The only one I was trying to dig was Luke Cage. I actually kind of liked that one a bit, but
uh,
as far as the rest of them, I didn't really care for. They're just like, I don't want, like, for example, the Batman shows and stuff. I don't want to watch a show that's not about fucking Batman. I don't want to see him when he was 12 years old. He wasn't still in
oh,
fucking
Gotham.
puberty. I want to see fucking Batman. I want to see Bruce fucking Wayne and
Yes.
what he does on a day-to-day basis. That's what I want. I don't want to see this prequel shit when they were little kids. Who gives a fucking rat's ass? I don't anyway. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent here, but
No,
I, you know,
I agree with
Breaking
you.
Bad was a good goddamn show. Now that
Yeah,
was fucking
Breaking Bad was
amazing. That
and
had good
that had
character
a good
too.
ending. It had a
Great
good
writing, great characters, fucking phenomenal. Like season after season build up was just great.
oh, yeah. Oh, man, Walter White.
Walter
Absolutely.
White. Honestly, my nephew just shaved his fucking head. And he's got glasses and a goatee now, and he actually looks a lot like Walter White. He looks like a young version of Walter White. We were laughing at him last week. It's crazy. No, I didn't watch Gotham, man. Just not my fucking cup
Ugh,
of tea.
no.
Again, as soon as you were like, "Oh, it's about Bruce Wayne as some like snot nosed little kid," I was like, "Yep, I'm
I
out." This
tried
is,
it.
you know,
I tried it, and Bruce, he's not even in like the first 3 seasons. It's all about other people, and it was just I lost interest. I am a fan of Batman and DC, but this was just I don't know. I know Netflix did a good job with like the Daredevil and Iron Fist,
Draven Arrow.
Punisher. I know it's gone, and
I've said your name, Draven Arrow. I think I said your name earlier. Sorry. Go ahead, Primal.
I think like the last like great superhero TV show that I saw was Umbrella Academy. If you haven't seen that
Mm.
I don't know, something about that show. I watched it. I watched the season 3 times in a row, and I'm very excited for the second one. So it's I like dark, gritty, violent, adult superheroes, like kick ass. I absolutely
Uh,
loved that movie when it came out.
I'm with you, Iceman. I'm actually like I actually didn't mind the last episode. There was I was pretty satisfied, I guess, with the way it ended. I guess it was just like I said, a bit sudden, but overall the show's cool. Draven there, oh my god, not what I meant. I don't know what he meant, but okay. But anyway, oh, Jago wants you to say his name in your moist
I
voice.
don't I have multi moists. Uh I don't know.
Okay, if she can't say it in a moist voice, I'll say your name in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Yeah,
All you
you
got to say is
do it.
put
I don't
put
know
an
if
A
I
in
can
the chat if you want me to say your name as Arnold, and I'll do it in the chat. Just put an A, and I will say it.
oh man. All right, hang on. I'll try.
Ready
I'll
for the
try.
A's.
We'll see if this works. Okay, you ready, Jago? That sounds so dirty. This is
Say something to Jago real dirty, like you want to wipe the sweat off his balls or something. I don't know.
oh my god.
See,
You
there you
guys
go. It was right there.
see and then it's like I don't know. I remember I actually almost went for like a phone sex job way back in the day. It
I
was
can
so
believe
fun.
that. I think you'd do good at that.
Yeah, but it would be cool if it was like video game characters too. Like Jago Coogan. Jago Coogan.
All right, this time I gotta get in some names so you can have a chance to think about what you're gonna say to Jago. But I'm saying this before I start forgetting. Hello, everybody. What are you doing? Sonya's Gaming's here. We've got Iceman LMH. We've got Django Cookin. We've got Lunkin Lunka. We've got Spider Man. We got Great Skull Zero. Everybody is here. And I hope to God you guys aren't here to kick me in the fucking back like that guy did the other day in the video. I was like, what the hell is this? There's flies in here. They must be really big. But they come out there and he kicked me in the back. I had to turn around. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm trying to give this Snapchat to all the kids in the school, and everybody's laughing. It's crazy. Say Jago's names. I don't know if Arnold can say anything sexy. Can you just imagine Arnold just like Arnold's like looking at his woman's like, Bemis, but on your legs. I'm gonna go down on you now. Okay? Like just keep your mouth closed. I'm in between your legs. I'm coming up
Yeah,
your
I
thighs.
I couldn't.
And I'm going to get in there and I'm going to find your clitoris and your G spot. Okay? That's what I'm going to do here.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. That's what his mouth has to be shut.
uh, yeah, that fucking dude that kicked her on the back. It was fucking weird as shit. I gotta admit though, you should try out for fucking WWE. That was a pretty awesome flying fucking drop kick, but he didn't budge Arnold at all. It was too fucking funny. Oh my god. The world we live in these days, honest to Jesus. I don't know if that was weird or that guy kicking Arnold or fucking idiot that fucking went in and attacked Bret Hart during the friggin' WWE Hall of Fame induction. That was crazy too. He just runs in the ring and tackles the guy. Like, what the fuck?
See, I
Free Jack is having a good time right now. He's rolling on the floor laughing. I saw these putting a ghost in the chat. I assume that means he's dead. Get a tip jar. I got to get to a fucking 1,000 people here before I can get those. What do you call those super chats, bro? Anyway, let's talk about another thing. Let's move from the Game of Thrones and TV. Let's move over to a couple of movies. How about fucking John Wick just came out, and let me tell you, I saw it this weekend, and I'm telling you, I think my balls are still hurting from watching people lose their balls in that fucking movie. Honest to God, it was absolutely incredible. If you love the first two John Wicks, this one's going to blow your mind. They somehow fucking upped the ante. Let me just say, and without making too many spoilers, just to say, John Wick goes to a library and he makes a guy read a book real fucking good. Let me tell you, it was amazing. Fucking that movie gets like super marked for me. Super fun movie, action packed almost all the way through. Some crazy ass shit goes down toward the end, and there is a sequel, and the sequel's already been talked about. May 21st, 2021. It's
saw
out
that.
there.
Insane. That's absolutely insane.
Oh man, I'm the John Wick corner camping Wick. Yeah, he gets in the corners and then fucking headshots everybody, doesn't he? It's like you got to make sure. Wait till you go see it, man. Fucking John Wick 3 is fucking dynamite. Don't sleep on this one. It is good. Cyber Gunther. Yeah, I got to do it in the Cyber Gunther in the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice because he's here now. So thank you for showing up, Primal. What were you going to say? I want to hear your sexy voice. You had something to say. Maybe you're going to talk about John Wick. He's the top action star out there now.
I don't know if I could do John Wick sexy. There is
Well,
another
there's a
thing
question
that's
for you.
so
Would you do John Wick?
no. I okay, definitely like the whole action thing is very sexy and his whole determination is very sexy, but Keanu Reeves is not. No.
No, no, you're not. Because a lot of the girls that I talk to, they love Keanu Reeves. They think he's like
No, I
fucking,
don't know what it
fucking
is
hot.
in his head.
Especially back when he did like the movie Speed and stuff like that.
See, I didn't mind Speed. I think my favorite Keanu movies was Bill and Ted, obviously, and then The Matrix. Like those are pretty big for me. And there really wasn't anything else. I'm not a fan of his like drama, like Hardball, even though that was a good movie. I can't look at him and take him seriously. I don't know what it is.
Some people can't get over Bill and Ted, right? That's as far
Right?
as yo, dude.
Oh my god! And isn't there supposed to be a new one too? Unless I'm
Bill and
totally
Ted, yes, actually, him and Alex Winter, the guy who played fucking
yes.
Bill, they are making a Bill and Ted. If you guys did not know that, they actually put it on social media. So there's a Bill and Ted 2 coming. Can't fucking believe it after all these years, but
Oh,
yeah,
the
Bill and
Scanner
Ted 2.
Darkly as well. Um,
Scanner Darkly was really cool. That was really cool. That art style and shit. That was wow.
but yeah. For as far as John Wick goes, I am very interested in seeing it because I absolutely love the first two. So that might be like a movie weekend. I'll drag my kid out. Actually, I'll force her. Well, no, sorry, this is bad parenting. I will make her sit down and watch the first two, even though she may get upset about the dog because she loves her animals, but
Mhm.
I think she'll enjoy his vengeance. So no, I'm very glad that it is doing well because sequels sequels are not known to be as good or if not better. Like even with Deadpool, I absolutely love Deadpool. I love both of them, but for some
Yeah.
reason, the first one for me I thought was a little bit better.
Lunkin kind of gave me a great idea for this podcast. Primal, what we need to do each week, and this could be a great part for you, is you should do gaming after dark and would say it, in that sexy voice. But what you do is you read out like a game, what do you call it? A synopsis or something of different games.
Snaps
So pick a game
or
every week and then read out the synopsis of the game in a sort of this like phone sex operator sexiest voice that you can do. I
or
think
you
that'd be
could do
fucking hilarious. Hmm?
story time with Eve.
Yeah, like story time with you be like, and coming up in this episode,
Right?
right?
Like anything. As I pull out my sword. No.
Absolutely. You
Well,
do like
I don't
be
have
like
a
the Witcher.
I don't have a
Geralt.
sword, so
Geralt
you just
removes
figure
his
that out.
robe into a hot bowl of steam. You know what I mean? Like that would be funny. I think everybody in the chat's like, oh, see, there you go. They're already like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
I would have
you've got a million games to pick from. You should be like narrate Super Mario Brothers. You know what
that
I
would
mean? And
be
do it like that.
so funny. I would absolutely love to do that. That would crack me up so much. It would just be funny to talk nerdy and sexy, like like as he takes out his wand of intelligence plus 4, and like that'd be so
See?
awesome. I would
It
love.
would be awesome. I think we're onto something here. We may have to talk. We're gonna have to talk about it. Like I said, anytime someone's got an idea for the podcast, things you'd like to hear more of or less of, whatever. We're open to
Yeah,
suggestions.
absolutely.
We're here for you guys. We want to make this the best podcast as possible. I know a lot of people already love it because we're just a little bit edgier and we're doing things a little bit differently than some other podcasts I like to do. So yeah. Was it Cybergun? I don't need a mushroom to grow. Just give me Primal Eve's voice.
Are you sure? Are you
I've
sure
got a
you
mental
have
image of
one?
Gunter right now. I don't know if it's scary or what.
Oh,
Woo!
man, I could have too much fun with that. I like that idea. That's so fucking funny.
His
Nobody else
mushroom.
does that. But I just think I don't know.
It'd be
People need to
great.
have fun with shit, and that's what I do. That's what we do. We take things and
As he takes out his lightsaber, it throbs with excitement, Jay.
wait a second. Is Jago writing a fanfic as we speak? He already has a script ready for next week.
I can see Yoda trying to be dirty minded right now. Yoda, take out your tits, you will, yes.
Oh,
Massage
man.
my green flesh ball, you will. Yes, yes, do it. Oh man, yeah. Other podcasts want to be monetized. So I don't give a shit about monetization. I don't give a shit about mono. Let alone monetization. No, it's all good, man. We are having a fucking blast here. This is why I love Primal and wouldn't wait for to be back on the show this week. So anyway, enough about John Wick. Let me get back into my topics again here. I always have the notes. They always seem to fall off my screen because I'm up on the screen here. Well, speaking of other movies, let's talk this one. Terminator Dark Fate trailer is coming out this Thursday. Arnold has tweeted it out. He obviously, it's no secret he's been making a new Terminator movie, and people are like, when the fuck is this guy going to retire? But yeah, he is doing another Terminator. Now, here's the good news. This is a few things we do know. Arnold's back. Obviously, that's great. But we also have Linda Hamilton, the original Sarah Connor. She is
Mhm.
back. I have no idea if Edward Furlong is going to be back as John Connor. Probably not.
No, he's been gone for there's been, like, 3 other, um, John Connors after him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of other people. I mean, Edward Furlong, his career is kind of
He's too
really
busy
kind
still
of.
trying to free lobsters. Like, once that shit happened, you never saw him again.
Yeah, but at least Linda Hamilton's back. James Cameron, the original director of 1 and 2, he's on board as far as I know as a producer. They have a different director, but Arnold has basically said, forget the other Terminators after 2. So forget 3 and Salvation and
I'm okay with
right.
that.
He said basically this is number 3. This is the movie that 3 should have been. Basically, is what he's saying.
Mhm.
I would love to see Edward Furlong come back. Honestly, I would. Just because it'd be great to have as much of the original cast as possible
Yeah,
back.
yeah, that I
As
would
far as
love
I
to
know,
see.
the Terminator, there's like I think there's like a couple. I think she's a female Terminator, but I think she's a lot like the T-1000 was, so the liquid metal with
Yeah, I
something
saw
else.
that image of her. She's a beast. Like,
Yeah, so it should be good. I'm excited for. I am a huge Terminator fan, but I can't deny. After number two, there was a huge drop off in the quality. I actually enjoyed them all for what they're worth, and I really enjoyed Salvation. Maybe it's just because I'm a huge Bale fan, and I loved how that movie was. Like it was the most visceral of all of the movies. But really loved Salvation. Actually, I thought it was cool. They had Sam Worthington in there as that half human, half Terminator kind of thing, and then they did that wicked CGI at the end of the movie where they had Arnold come out and he looked just like he did back in the original Terminator, but it was all done with computer graphics. That
of
was pretty fucking
course, yeah.
cool. Yeah, so Skynet is Microsoft. I'm fucking starting to believe it, bro. I think we're not too far off of there.
Oh, I
So,
know, they're heading that way.
yeah, most of the actors let it go, according to Draven Arrow. Well, speaking of old actors coming back, Stallone's got the new Rambo coming out in September. Trailer's soon going to be out for that too. That's crazy. These guys are in their fucking 70s. They're still
I
making
know.
action movies. Like, what the hell? So you might have been right, Timothy Dixon, that Worthington was pretty damn good in that movie. Actually, it was a lot more about him in a sense than it was about Bale. But I still love Christian Bale and love the special effects. But so probably will take us back to your knowledge of Terminator. Are you a fan of the franchise? And if so, what was your favorite Terminator movie? Are you excited about the new one? That sort of thing, and maybe give us some of your favorite parts from your Terminator movies.
Um, yeah, it's been so long, Noob. I remember watching up to Terminator 3 and thinking, "Okay, I've had enough." Just because for like 3 just rubbed me the wrong way, and then just seeing, like, the trailers and stuff for, like, Salvation and Genesis, it
Hmm.
really it wasn't Terminator for me. My favorite one is definitely Terminator 2.
Yes.
What the fuck? T-1000
Mhm.
scared the fuck out of me.
Robert Patrick, yeah.
Yes, he was so good that he scared me,
Mhm.
and I absolutely love that, and just the final battle between them at the end was pretty intense too, and I think I don't know if they say just forget about 3 and after,
Mm.
it gives me high hopes because when 1 and 2, those were the Terminators for me growing up as a kid, and
Mhm.
I hope they would kinda still follow the same formula because they didn't. Like, afterwards,
Mhm.
like, how
Yeah.
many more times can you go back in time? How many more, John Connors are there?
Yeah. I mean, technically, that franchise could have ended at 2, and I would have been happy because it was just
Yeah.
amazing storytelling. Those first 2 movies were just they were just sci-fi pinnacles, that was part of
Yes.
my childhood. I love those movies. I mean, Terminator is what really made Arnold Schwarzenegger a star. People say Conan, but it was the Terminator that launched him into superstardom, and it's pretty cool considering, the first one he played, a bad guy essentially, but it was just
Mm.
his stone cold demeanor. That first movie, he really felt robotic. You know what I mean? It was just relentless. And then number two was just outstanding. Still, I think one of the best movies. Like that would still make my top 10 to
Mhm.
this day in top movies. You know what I mean? And the rest after that, well, they got sillier, right? Like you're
Yeah.
drawn at straws. Like when you have such a sort of a closed end story, and then you're trying to rewrite it in a way that you can make it make sense. Sometimes that's not easy to do. It's kind of like killing Jason and Freddy. Like somehow they always find a way to bring them back, even though like these guys should technically be dead if all things are correct. But somehow, oh my God! Speaking of Predator, I watched that movie The Predator the other night. Oh my God, that
I've
was
been
so
wanting to see
bad.
it.
Oh,
It's
it was so bad. It was so bad. It gave me headaches. The only good thing about it was they actually used the original, like some of the music from the original Predator. But that movie was so campy and cheesy. It was like taking a major budget movie and making it a B flick. It was oh man.
That's a sh
Uh,
see,
oh.
that's my biggest fear when it comes to sequels, especially ones that are so far from their originals that they lose that magic, they lose everything that made the originals what they are, and that frightens me just a little bit. Oh, I loved him in Twins and Kindergarten Cop. Alright.
Great Skull Zero says dumpster juice. I like the way you spell it, Joose. Yeah. What's going on, Ballistic Dummy? What's happening, bro? How you doing? Glad you could be here. Magnetic Storm 25, thanks for popping by. I think you might be new to this podcast. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, like, but I mean, I love the Terminator movies. Like I said, number two was obviously far and away, I think, the best one. I mean, the rest were, I actually didn't mind the last one that much. The Salvation, or not Salvation, Genesis.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, you had Queen Daenerys actually played Sarah Connor, which was kind of cool in itself. Although
Yeah,
she
it
just
was
didn't
really
have that
good.
same presence
Uh-huh.
as Linda Hamilton did. And the crazy thing with Linda Hamilton, you look at Terminator One and how fragile and and how what I mean, how
Mhm.
fragile she was of a character, and then you see the way all this shit shaped her for the second one, and she became kind of a badass, right?
Mhm.
I like that transformation. I didn't really see that same sort of energy out of what's her name who played the character there, but I still liked it. I mean, obviously, I think the world over Amelia Clark. I think she's a good actress, and but it's hard not to see her in that movie and not think of Daenerys Stormborn.
Right. Which
Um,
is
you know,
funny because Cersei also plays Sarah Connor as well in the
yes,
TV show.
in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Crazy stuff, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, and she's a good actress as well. So, um, yeah, I think my favorite moment, I don't know, of the Terminator movies. There's a lot of great moments. I mean, I really like the ending of Terminator 2 where he's going down on the chain and he sticks his thumb
yes.
up.
So
That was just epic at the time. That actually gave me goosebumps. And like I said, when I think that movie made a point too, when you can feel for a robot, then there's hope for humanity, sort of a thing, right?
mhm.
That even though he was a machine, he still had a humanity and a presence to him. He
Right.
still know what was right from wrong to protect those people and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there was a point there. But anyway, that's cool. That's coming out in the fall. That's coming out this fall, and then like I said, I think like I said, new Rambo with Stallone.
Yeah.
Stallone is. I know Stallone's like on a ranch in this one. He's not over in fucking Bangladesh or where the hell he is anymore. And I think something about he has to protect, it's one of his friends or something. His daughter gets kidnapped, I think, by some kind of a drug cartel, and that's kind of as much as I know. But it should be fucking cool. I guess it says Rambo 2020, Rambo in a wheelchair. Well, it's not far off. Maybe it's time Rambo dies. Maybe that would be a great way to send him out. That he
You know
actually
what? They
dies.
should, and that's how they should end the entire series, like, truly end it so that there's no chance of any more.
Well, the studio head did say he didn't give anything away, but he did say there's going to be a big ending to the next Rambo, and he said I think people are really going to like it. I don't know what that means, but it could be cool. Taken, yeah. What, they got three or four of those already? That movie kind of went far. Let's get into a couple more topics here before we close out the show. I want to talk about that new Sonic racing game is out. Team Sonic. Are you a fan of these kart racing games? Are you planning to try the new one? It's getting some pretty good reviews. I had the original Sonic Racing. I think it was on, like, what was it, on the 360 or whatever, All Star Racing, and then they made the other one that I didn't like so much because they put them in weird vehicles and shit. But I had the first one; it was pretty damn good. What about you, Primal?
As far as, like, kart racing games, the one game that I really enjoy, like, there's how many Mario Karts are there now?
8.
8. Fuck.
This would
Well,
be essentially the third in the Sonic racing kart racing games, if you don't count Sonic R back on the Saturn, which was a kart racing game without actual go karts.
uh, out out of all of them, like, my favorite kart type racing game was Diddy Kong Racing on the
Mm.
N64. That was my shit. I played the fuck out of that. Um, but I think it is pretty cool to have something team based and being able to help out your teammates
Mm-hmm.
and swap over items and I think in that article you had LinkedIn, they compared it to On Rush, which I I need to get back into playing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to actually have something where you're not solo and you can have somebody help you, even though sometimes you feel like you're carrying the team. But that's besides the point. Um, it, it is a kids game for me. Sonic and I broke up a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be Sonic again. and
Not
that
after that
wasn't a
movie
good
fucking
movie.
trailer, that's for sure.
I'm just saying,
What was
like,
that?
I would love to go back and play the original Sonics, but you can't remake Sonic, and I'd
Right.
put that one to bed.
Gotcha.
Not literally.
Well, like I said, I like Sonic, the kart racing games, whatever the hell was the first one on the 360. I actually liked that game quite a bit. I thought it was good. And it was really the only thing that was one of the very few good kart racing games that you could play on a 360 or a PS3 that didn't have Mario in the name, because obviously it
Right.
was exclusive to Nintendo. Now, Mario Kart 8 is amazing. I mean, it takes the best stuff from the entire franchise and puts it into one game. So it is accumulation of its many parts, and it's just a very solid kart racing game. Now, the thing is, I would love to see, and I think a lot of people in this chat, and I've heard many people in the community say, why don't Microsoft make a kart racing game? It'd be great if they did like Microsoft Kart, or
Oh
even they
my
could call it
gosh.
Forza Kart. They could call it Forza Kart and basically shrink the top cars in the game, but instead of make them look like little carts, but like say an F330 Spider, whatever. But instead of that, the characters would be Microsoft's most
Yeah,
popular
I'm
characters
thinking
from Rare.
Gears and
So
Halo.
Marcus Phoenix and Coltrane and Banjo Kazooie,
That
and
would be so
that would be
awesome.
amazing.
I
Could you
would
imagine Master Chief? Of course, Master Chief would only be one cart for Master Chief, and it had to be a fucking warthog, right?
oh my
But
god, imagine Marcus, like, leaning over with a chainsaw
oh,
right
be
next to
awesome.
you.
Be like sawing out the tires. You come up, you take his chainsaw, and you saw down through
Yes,
the tire, and you
so
be go off the
awesome.
road. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have like Arbiter's got an energy sword, like tries to slice your head off or something when you're coming with roar, you know.
That'd be so great.
See, you'd buy that. Iceman would buy that. I think a lot of people would fucking
I
buy
would
that
get
shit.
it.
I'd be all over it. Can you imagine if somebody carried like Conquer fucking flipping you the bird or something? Be like, piss off, I'm drunk,
Oh my
you
god,
know. Of
so
course, they never. Well, they have to keep. That's the problem, though. They probably want to sell it to as many kids as possible, so they have to keep it like really like fucking G rated. So everything would be really toned back. But even if they tone it back with the amount of characters, that you can still have a lot of fun with that.
oh yeah.
You know. Crispy Bob, what's going on? Axel 1324.
Hey,
Philly
Crispy.
says no kart racing. Boy, somebody doesn't like kart racing. Joyride is good. Dreadpool points out. Yeah, Joyride is good, guys. You can play it. You can get that one like dirt cheap, and it's back compatible with the Xbox One, and that's actually pretty good. You can actually use your avatars. That's the coolest part. So your old avatars actually sit in the cars, and it's a lot of fun. Me and Dirty J and who was it? Jago and a few bits from people I think played that one like a couple months back, and it was a lot of fun. So it's pretty cool. Twisted Metal Kart Racing, yeah. But anyway, I'm glad that the new Sonic racing game is pretty cool. I think it's out for the Switch. Actually, no, I don't really want to pick it up for Switch if I've got fucking Mario on the Switch, but probably pick it up from my Xbox. Now, Crash is coming out too here in another couple of weeks, I think. The Crash Team Racing, a remake from the PlayStation. You ever play that one?
No, I haven't actually. Oh wait, I don't.
It was a
Shit.
big. It was came out on the. I think it was the original PlayStation, if I recall
I
correctly.
yes, I did. That was fucking 100 years ago. Yeah, it's what it feels
uh,
like. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100 years ago, indeed. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Like they remade it, just like they remade the Crash Bandicoot games.
Mhm.
So new graphics, new upgrades, same level design, stuff like that. So that'd be pretty cool if you like the original. That was actually one of the best kart racing games at the time, if my memory recalls, outside of Mario Kart. A lot of people have tried doing kart racing games, but not everybody has done really really well with that. So it's one of those things you think it'd be simple, but it's being creative. That's the making great part of the kart racing is making good course designs, right? That's a big part of it. You got to have good
Oh yeah.
course design, something for everybody, stuff like that. Some games are really cheap. Believe it or not, a couple of the actually have decent ones, and this is really weird with me saying this. But do you guys remember the Burger King games? That fucking game Pocket Bike Racer
Oh
was actually
god.
half decent for
Yes.
a game that I got free, I think, with a hamburger.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
watching Burger King on a little pocket bike and you're racing around the tracks, that shit was hilarious. No matter
That
how many times I played, that shit was hilarious. And pocket bikes were kind of all the rage when that game came out. Everybody was buying these
yes.
things.
So fucking ridiculous. Everybody in their damn.
Snake King. Oh my god,
Oh,
that game was
okay.
fucking
Sneak.
hilarious.
All right. I'm about to say what a horrible mother I am. All right. Back in the day. I think my daughter was like 2 or 3, and I had just picked up Sneak King because it was like 50 cents or something. I'm like, "Whatever, I want achievements." And the game barely even loaded, and it was like the opening where the Sneak King
Oh
would
yeah.
would, like, slowly come up. My daughter would scream and cry in terror, so I would shut it off and then I would turn it back on just to test. And I used I used to just screw with her so much as a child because I thought it was hilarious. And then like I tried to explain to her like all he wants to do is give you a burger, and she would just be like,
Well,
no.
now you know how to get your daughter in line is dress up as fucking Burger King
Oh
for
my gosh,
Halloween.
he's seriously creepy. I haven't seen a commercial in a long time. Like one of the last ones I think
Maybe
I
that's
saw
why.
was him in bed. Like
Mm.
somebody woke up with him in bed next to them. Like, what in the world? Here's a burger. You
Oh.
know, that's not
Mm.
really the meat I want, but I'll take
Mm.
it. So I don't know.
Well, anytime you want to hand over your burger, let me know. I'll be glad to sneak up on a queen.
Ah,
Oh man, yeah, your poor kid's scarred for life. She's never going to Burger King again with the same face. That's for sure.
it's just I wish I recorded it back then, but it was like he would just peek and her face was pure.
Well, even that game was so weird. It was like a cheap version of a Splinter Cell, but instead of going up and stabbing the guy in the neck, you're like come out of a trash can. You're like, hey, you want a burger? It was weird, but that was one of those things that you just laughed at. I was like, I don't know who the fuck came up with this shit, but it's funny. And they actually
Right?
spent some money to make this shit. And the crazy part was, as bad as it might sound, these games weren't even that bad. They actually were like a half decent bit of fun.
No, I didn't mind kind of like it was a challenge to try and sneak and feed these guys. Like there was like a construction site and they
Yeah.
get a guy in a porta potty or something like
You imagine opening your porta potty door and he's standing in front of you with a fucking whopper. Just the sound of that is fucking funny. Hey, you want a
that.
whopper? That's what you say when you're in prison. You just watch out when someone says you want a whopper and you happen to be in the fucking washroom.
Oh man. But no, but those are great. And it was awful because they were like free at Burger King with like whatever you did and then you could trade it in.
Mm.
Like,
Oh man.
and they would like upcharge shit. Fucking game.
Yeah, it was crazy because it came out right at the time when the Xbox One was coming out, and they were like actually worked with the. Well, no, it was the X. No, it was on the 360, and they worked with the
Yeah.
360 and the original Xbox. Yes,
Yes. Yep. It was
which was
right
really
around.
cool, right?
Yeah.
Because not everybody had upgraded to the 360, so those games worked on both consoles. That was pretty fucking cool.
Mhm.
Cheeseburger Eddie. Yeah, I remember all those old McDonald's characters. They don't really promote them much anymore, but all those
Oh
weird
my
characters. You
gosh.
had the
All those
Hamburglar and you fucking
seriously.
Grimace and the Fry Guys and all those people.
Well,
Now
they
you only see them on the kids'
that
napkins or whatever.
it's like the same thing with like Winnie the Pooh. They completely removed Eeyore because he was too depressing for kids, and they replaced him with a fucking elephant. Like I don't know. Some people just need to grow up
Yeah,
a little bit.
no
That's how
shit,
I
eh?
see it.
Well, that's the way of the world, kids. Not everything is fucking smiles and roses.
Splinter King.
Splinter King,
Oh,
Dildo King. Would
oh
you
my
like a
god.
dildo? Ah, speaking of creepy ass things, have you seen the new trailer for the new It Chapter 2? Holy fuck.
Oh my god. I want to see it so fucking bad. I want to see it so bad.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well,
I can't
not
wait to
only
watch
is
that. I wish see,
the
I wish Microsoft still had those fucking those movie parties cuz wouldn't that be dope to fucking hang out with the avatars in the theater and watch something like that on
It
Netflix
used
or
to
whatever?
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I used to do that with my friends all the fucking time. We would always watch, like, these that bad biology
Yeah.
movie with the penis going through the wall.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can't find that by the way. You told me but I looked for it but I
alright,
can't
I'll
find it.
find a link for you. Um, but no, I loved it. We would all sit in the theater, and it would always be great because we'd always have too many people, and our avatars would be sitting on each
Yeah.
other's laps. But But no, I miss that. I guess you could still do it now if you guys are both in a party chat, but it's not the same feel. It's not the same fun. I
See,
wish they would bring shit like that back.
yeah, like see, back in the day, that was. I kept trying to tell my friends, this is why I pay for Xbox Live. You got Netflix on your place, you get it for free. But I didn't mind paying so much for Xbox when they had features like that. That was
Yeah,
fucking cool. I don't even know if people just didn't know how to use it or they didn't know about it because a lot of the times you just didn't know, and then shit goes under the radar. And then it's gone, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you tell us? You know what I mean? But like, they should try something like that again because it was unique,
right.
and it was one of those reasons that was made it worth watching Netflix on your fucking Xbox
I
over the other
know that's
console.
money right there,
Right?
Microsoft. That's money. But
Money,
there were so many.
party up with your friends. Fuck, you know what I mean? And go and watch a movie together and be able to chat about it. That shit's fucking awesome.
It's a good community thing. Like, do you remember one versus 100?
Yes, that was fucking amazing because you could actually win real shit on
Oh
that.
my gosh, I know, and that was so much fun, and it brought everybody together. It was like, "Hey guys, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for one versus 100." And
Oh, I know. I used to play that all the time. It was so fucking good. I used to love that show.
okay, a spider just crawled across me, and I'm like freaking the fuck out. But I'll keep talking.
You sure the Burger King guy's not there?
If you guys hear like a crash or anything, it's because I freaked out. I do not like spiders. I need to find it and kill
Hmm.
it immediately. But yeah, Noof, carry on.
See, everybody in the chat agrees that One vs. 100 was awesome. It was one of those things that made owning the Xbox unique and fucking amazing. Why the fuck they get rid of this shit is beyond me. Like, in today's infrastructure, that only makes even more sense with the way gaming is going because it's such a social thing. It's one of those games that you could run on just about any type of hardware and play like cross-platform. They should seriously invest some money and bring that shit back because I'm telling you, that would probably bring in a whole lot of new Xbox. That would be one of those things that would be perfect for Game Pass because you'd literally get
Oh
people buying Game Pass for that one fucking game. I'm not kidding you. People, I would almost subscribe to Game Pass if they said One versus 100 is exclusive to Game Pass. Then they'd have their constant content because they'd have new shows every week. You'd have to tune in to you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Microsoft, you guys, Noof is known as kind of being dumb sometimes, but I got some good fucking marketing shit for you here if you're listening. There's money on the table. You're throwing it out the window. Bring that shit back. Put it on Game Pass. I'm telling you, you're going to get 1 million easy subscribers right there. Boongo.
I cannot find this spider. Okay.
Well, you better check between your legs first and foremost because you don't want a
Oh, yeah.
spider up inside her.
There hasn't been anything up inside there for a while. This shit's fucking closed. All right.
The only one who's come close to your veg has been the doctor, I take it.
That's the only time I get any once a year. I visit. I
There you
always
go from an alley pap smear once a year. There you go.
yes.
Dreadpool is like putting spiders all over the place in here.
All right. Well,
Yes,
I don't
yes.
see.
Microsoft hasn't. Sometimes I don't think they have a fucking clue, man, when it comes to certain things. They make some decisions, and there's other ones you're like, what? Why? You're throwing stuff away when it's money is on the table, and I think these companies like to make lots of fucking money. Sure, there's work that goes into it, but isn't that like anything? Fucking takes work to make TV shows and fucking
It's
all that shit. So be no different here, you know.
I don't know. It was always the little things that made like Xbox extra special and all that stuff. And
And it'd be a great way to give away indie titles because I know back then they gave away points, right? If you won stuff, you got
yes,
points.
it did
But
like
this would be a great way like to give away like indie titles and stuff. Like, well, if you win on the game, you scored this copy. Like this week's episode of One versus 100 is brought to you by this game. If you finish whatever, you get a copy of this game, or you get 15% off your next purchase, and blah blah blah
right.
blah. And like man, I'm telling you, they could rock it. It'd be awesome. This E3 will have news about the new One versus 100 2.0. Well, I would hope so, but I won't hold my breath on that. That's for sure. Anyway, we're going to get ready to wrap up the show here. Eve, you had a great question. Actually, I think might have one more topic, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Do your question. Well, Sony, good article on the PlayStation 5 saying faster load times in their new video. They showed off how fast like the PlayStation 5 was loading up a game. like Spider-Man, for example. I think it took them literally like about 1 second. So the things we do know about the PlayStation 5, we don't know as much about the Xbox yet, but we do know it's got an all-new CPU and a GPU. We know that it will feature a solid-state hard drive. It will be backwards compatible, most likely with PS4. They have said there won't be any PS3, PS2 backwards compatibility. And well, part of that is because due to hardware restrictions and licensing. And the second part is they want people to subscribe to PlayStation Now. It's supposed to have built-in ray tracing, capable of 8K, they're saying, although that's a mute point, and I don't expect to see too much 8K
Yeah.
content. Disc support, which means they'll have a drive, obviously, Blu-ray 4K. I would assume at this point they'll go with a 4K, but who the fuck knows? And 3D audio, so I'm guessing maybe they'll license out, what do you call it? What's that one? Dolby Atmos, maybe? A few
Yes.
different ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So give us your take on that. I mean, are you excited about the possibilities of a PlayStation 5 and the solid state drives and the faster loading? I'm sure loading screens drive you nuts. And can you think of any game that's really driven you nuts lately?
I've played so many games where the loading time would just be long enough for me to like go make a sandwich, even like take a shit, take a shower, and then come back and it'll still be loading. It was fun to have like some games actually had like a mini game in the loading screen, and that was always great. But yeah, of course, who wants who wants a long loading time, especially when you step like 2 feet to the left just to get to like the other part of the map and it loads.
Long loading screens are the equivalent to a woman as a guy that can't get hard before sex, right? When he stands there above you and he's basically trying to beat his meat, and you're just like, for fuck's sakes, you'd think this would already be done. I'm naked. I'm in front of you.
Right?
Like,
It's like he's buffering.
yeah, why are you stalling here? Hey, just give me a couple of minutes. You're just like, well, I'm losing my vibe, honey. Just give me a couple of minutes. Well, that's pretty much what loading screens are, essentially.
Right. Like I definitely get like having a loading screen if you're going like inside of a building, outside of a building, some like a completely different area. But in open worlds, that it was probably one of the things that oh my god. Sorry, I thought something was crawling at me. Um I'm not gonna
She's
be able
so
to sleep.
paranoid about that spider now. She's like, it's gone somewhere.
I am not gonna sleep tonight at all. Um like Anthem drove me nuts because once you hit a certain spot, there would be this weird loading like thing, and I hated it, especially when it's just like I'm right there, like I can see where I have to go, but I have to load. So
Mm-hmm.
of course that is very exciting. Are we spoiled? Yes, I think
Yeah.
we're all very spoiled because guys, back in the day, we had these horrible loading screens at all times, and we still kept playing it.
But
So
every generation we've had that's
nice.
been every
Yeah,
generation that's been one promise that they all keep saying less load times, less, and it seems like they just keep getting worse. And I get it. Some games are very technically demanding, but isn't that whole like especially if you're a disc based person who don't you think some of that could be on the disc and sort of installed per se, so it's easier to access them a little quicker. And on the other side of the coin is yeah, like I fucking hate loading screens, especially the ones after you die. Especially games where you're prone to dying a lot, and then you die, and then it has to load, and you sit there and you wait, and I'm like, I can't fucking stand dying because I gotta wait fucking a minute to get back into the damn level, and I'm gonna die again 20 seconds later.
yeah, and I remember that being the cool thing back on the 360 when they first were like, "Hey, you can just install your game and it'll load faster," and it definitely
Mm-hmm.
made a difference and things were more enjoyable. Granted, we had like 10 gig hard drives and stuff back then where it
Yeah.
would fit, but
Well, that's one thing I do like about the Switch is that overall most of their shit loads incredibly fast, and maybe it's because it's cartridge based, and a lot of their games aren't massively sized either. They're not like 80 and 90 gigabytes and shit. Like I think most of Nintendo's titles alone, like I pop in the cartridge, I don't even know if it's like
oh,
2 minutes, and the game is fucking ready to roll. It's crazy.
just blow on it and go.
Iceman says, I love loading, gives me time to make a sandwich. Yeah, no doubt. Are we talking about Bloodborne? Probably. Bloodborne was like that, wasn't it? You died and you had to wait for the long load screen to come back. I don't know. I only played Bloodborne briefly, but that was kind of annoying. Um, yeah, loading screens are, especially in games where you die a lot, it kind of reminds you of going to a ski hill, especially a small ski hill where it takes you like 5 minutes to get to the top and about 30 seconds to get down when you're skiing. You're like, well, that was fucking that was crazy. Shaddai, Eternal Shaddai, what's going on? I got to say it like Arnold now. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Eternal Shaddai. Glad that you can make it out here to this great podcast. We got amazing people, amazing panel. We got amazing chat. We got Jay Slayer and Crispy Bomb and the Indie Gamer, and Dreadpool is here, and Spider-Man is swinging from the ceiling, and Primal Eve is over there freaking out because the spider is crawling by a vag somewhere.
Oh man,
All
I
right,
need a
let's
weapon there.
let's wrap up this. We won't talk too much more about that. We'll talk more about the tech stuff when we actually get the concrete info. I'll be lost of that, I'm sure, about E3. But let's get on to your question of the night, Primal Eve.
Oh man. All right, what should I? I'm trying to debate. Okay, what is the sexiest body part for you?
There you go. That question
Yeah,
is for the chat as well. What is the sexiest body part for you? What is the one part that
what
turns us on?
turns you on? Yeah, I'll totally go first because I have a weird thing with this. And I don't know what it is, but the first thing I look
Philly Eagle says lips in the chat. There you go.
at
Now,
lips.
which lips? The ones down below or the ones as you go? Lunkin eye lunk or the eyes? Crispy
For
bomb
me,
the booty.
it's hands. I look
Hands.
at the hands immediately. I don't know what it
Hmm.
is. Like I love being touched and I like nice man hands. So that's like a thing for me. I don't know why.
What if your hands are manly but they're kind of soft? Because that would describe my hands. I don't have like workers' hands. My hands are they're big, but
Right.
they're nice and soft. They're nice and smooth. You know what I mean?
No, I'm fine with that. I don't know. There's just something about hands. I don't want hands that have been through like I don't know a cheese grater or anything. But yeah, no, I don't know. Hands are
Yeah.
really sexy. I gamer
The indie gamer says tush. I haven't heard that word since I was probably like in kindergarten.
tush.
Ah. I haven't heard that word since ZZ Top.
Oh man. On
Keep
her
going.
face. Am I missing part of this?
If on her face, if a woman doesn't have lips that look
Oh,
like you want to
lips.
kiss them,
Lips.
chances are she isn't attractive or sexy. I don't know. I've seen some pretty girls that got some really nice lips, but the rest of the face, it's like, goddamn, it's like kissing a catfish. It's like the lips are nice, but the rest of that face,
Where do the nights tushy?
So you like the hands? Me, it's pretty simple. Yes, I'm gonna. Well, it's kind of three things. I don't know if that's even fair to say. If it comes down to the ultimate one, what can I say? If it's the ultimate one, I like. What can I say? A good rack. I know that sounds superficial and terrible, but a good rack. There's I don't. It doesn't even have to necessarily be a good rack. I'm just fucking attracted to tits. Big tits, small tits, hanging tits. I don't care. I just love tits. It's like I can't stop looking at tits. But as far as like facial features, I love eyes. I love a woman with deep dark eyes
Yeah, I
that
love
just
eyes too.
eyes that look like they're dreamy eyes, they have that nice look and nice legs. When a woman's got nice legs and she can wear pants, really nice pants and stuff, and they just look good. I like, the woman that has like the muscular leg. Like some people don't like, like the girls, the gymnast girls that usually have the really big legs.
Ah,
Now some guys don't like that, but I love it. I love the big muscular shapely leg. Like I think that's sexy.
uh-huh. Yeah, hands, eyes, and I don't know. I like a dad bod.
The dad bod,
Yeah.
little beer belt. Well, I've heard like girls say they like a guy with a little bit of fat, and then there's other guys who won't touch a dude unless he's got a six pack and he's fucking rippling full of muscles. You
Yeah,
know,
no, I'm not into like super muscled out guys. I don't know what it is. I don't want to sleep on something hard. The
Mhm.
only thing hard should be in me, not like on me, I guess you could say.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, Draven Arrow, the flat chest girls, I will say was one thing I like about most of the flat chest girls. They always tend to come with some of the best party darts you'll ever fucking see. Yep.
Oh,
I don't mind them as big as fucking pencil erasers. That doesn't bother me at all.
Jesus.
I love me the nips, man. Oh yeah, I like it when the woman she got nothing better than fucking when she's got a wet t-shirt and you can fucking see those fuckers from a mile away and poke your eyes out once. Oh, that and side boob. Side boob always looks good too. You got a nice tight tank top on and the side boob. Oh, God, that looks
Well,
sexy.
okay, of course, personality can completely like trump everything here. You
Yes,
know, you gotta have a good personality. Humor is a big deal for me. It's very important to have a sense of humor.
absolutely. I agree. And nothing turns me off about a woman, no matter how sexy she is, nothing will turn me off more than a woman that thinks her shit don't stink. Who
Yeah.
thinks because she's good looking that she's untouchable unless you measure up to a certain standard. And I shared this comic a while back with Prima. I sent it to her inbox. It was this little comic, and on one side it shows this girl, right? And she's at a desk, and a handsome guy walks in and he says something. And what was it, Primal? This is like what was it?
Oh, shit.
It was like acceptable, and then this sort of a nerdy guy walks in
Oh
and says the same
yeah.
thing, and it's like sexual. What was it? Sexual assault or some shit or whatever.
Yeah, she said it was like sexual harassment for saying the same exact thing that the other guy
Yeah,
said.
and that
And
drives me nuts. Is that it's okay for one guy because you're attracted, but if you're not attracted to the guy, then all of a sudden the stuff that you do is unacceptable. I think that's fucking bullshit.
it is bullshit.
You know, bottom line. But yeah, not nothing than a prude girl. And as far as guys that I see in public, the guys that I hate are the guys that have the big attitudes. They drive around like, and no offense to anybody that's fucking really short in the chat, but I do find a lot of you short guys have fucking supersized fucking trucks and supersized fucking egos. I don't know if you're overcompensating for something, but fucking you got like Tyrion Lannister got nothing on you dudes. Like Jesus Christ. You have 4'5", but I got a fucking Bigfoot truck, and I jump out with my fucking silver jeans, and I got my fucking Eddie Bauer shit on, and you're just acting like your fucking shit don't stink. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yep. Short motherfucker syndrome. Not everybody got it. So don't get me wrong. Not everybody got it, but there are a few. I've seen a lot of them around here, and it tends to be mostly, you know. So 6 foot's good fucking good height. I mean, I'll see dudes get out of a fucking truck and they're monsters, and they go around. They got the nicest attitude in the world. They're like, "Hey, buddy, like, how's it going?" And and you're like, "Wow." And then you get fucking these other guys, and they're like fucking super short, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah." Yeah, I'm 5'11", so I'm not exactly tall, but I'm not fucking short either. So
Yeah, I'm 5'2". Everybody in the world is taller than me. Oh, it's so awful. No,
yeah.
actually, I enjoy being short. I don't know, it's fun.
Hey, short is good. At least they don't have to sit down and get in the BJ.
Easy on the knees.
Shaddai is 5'8" now. The Hummer. Nothing wrong with that at all. Eternal Shaddai, nothing at wrong. As long as your fucking ego is not bigger than your Hummer, then you're good to go. Oh yeah, Luca. Yeah, she claims to be quite short. What did Luca say? She was like fucking. Isn't Luca like 4 foot something or whatever? Like, I don't know. She's really tiny apparently. But it's all good. It's all good. Good things come in small packages. As long as your package isn't small, then some girls will say that's not so good.
I don't care about package size. I've had it's gonna be selling a slut. I've had a good variety,
Right.
and it's not. It really doesn't matter about your package size, to be honest.
Cyber Gunner 2'9". What the fuck are you, a hobbit? We're gonna have to send Gandalf to your house, put you in line or what? Oh Jesus!
Why did I have an urge to like? I would punt them if they were. I don't know why that's
She's like, where's the fucking the uprights? I want to kick you through a field goal.
faces out.
Bend over, I'm gonna kick you in the ass. Hey, 5'11" Spider-Man, Philly Eagle 5'11". There you go. Got some 5'11s in here. 5'11's the number from heaven. I'm 5 inches thick and 11 inches long. Oh
Oh, I
shit.
got stories. All
Oh,
right.
the story. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. This has been another phenomenal podcast. Can't you see? This is why I couldn't wait for Primal to come back, because we click like dick. I'm telling you.
Like
Oh man.
out over here.
What'd you say?
Some clicking dicking.
Clicking dicking. That's it. Yeah, we're up. We're fucking up in here like Burger King himself. We sneak king in this bitch up in here. Oh fuck.
For me.
So I should dress up as for Halloween this year. Fucking sneak king. That'd be fucking hilarious. I've
Uh,
had to find that fucking helmet with his thing on it. It'd be great. But anyway, we've had a lot of fun. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Hopefully, Primal and Noof docking. I don't know what the hell that is, but sounds interesting. Draven Arrow, great show. Well, thank you guys. You guys are part of this show. You make it great as well. So great we masturbate. Yes, indeed. Well, we'll be back again next Tuesday if everything goes well. Should be fun. I'm already looking forward to episode 15. Man, 15 weeks already since we've been doing this shit. It's
Oh,
crazy stuff.
shit, that is so
Yeah,
I
I
could have
know.
sworn that we just did our 10th episode, our dirty dosage.
I know. We got to get Glitcher on here. He will be one guest that I have to get on here if we can get him here. He keeps saying he's going to show up, but then Glitcher. We call him Attack the Ditcher now because he just ditches us all the time.
Jesus.
But we've had a good time. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for being here, everybody. We will see you again next Tuesday. Again, we appreciate all your feedback and your support. We're going to probably implement some of those ideas that you've kind of given us over the show. Appreciate it, Eternal Shaddai. Appreciate that support. And E3, yeah, we're hoping to have a fire show for E3. We're definitely going to load up the panel a little bit. We'll want to be talking a lot. Hopefully, it'll be an earlier podcast. We might do a couple of impromptu ones so they're a little bit easier and more accessible for people instead of being very late at night. Definitely late for Eve right now as it's almost 12 o'clock, I think, in your time.
Yes, it is.
So, but I won't keep you any longer. I won't keep you guys all any longer. But thanks for being here. We will see you all next week. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit, and we will see you soon. Peace out. Love everybody.
Yeah, good night, everyone.